Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us right here on Morning at NTV. I would like to give you a brief preamble on the COVID-19 numbers before we go to Entebbe, where we have a debate on the mayoral race in that region. Well, in this area of, in this Uganda, we are dealing with 12,743 cases, 112 deaths, that is 7,556 recoveries. We've had 525,000 tests that have been conducted as a result of this COVID-19 pandemic. But then let's go to Entebbe. Haman Ivan Walinyolo is on standby for this mayoral debate. A very good morning, Haman.
Country, but of course when we talk about that, in such a time we mean that the elections are just knocking at the door, and we talk about Entebbe, of course, which is the international gateway of the country, of course, with the only airport and state house. When you talk about this, of course, the bid for the mayorship is up and running, and as we speak, 7 people are vying for that position. And joining me on set, of course, this beautiful morning, I have 5 of the contestants, and if I can start right with me, on my left is Kayanja Vincent Dipo, who is the incumbent, of course, the DP diehard. I also have Kenny Simba. I knew Kenny when Masav was still existing. Ken, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Fabrice Rulinda also as well, coming in as an independent candidate. Fabrice, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mike Mutebi as well, the NRN, the yellow man with the yellow hat. Welcome to the show, Mike Mutebi.
Please.
Muhammad Kauma. You have had to step down from the MP-ship now to the mayorship as well. But welcome to the show this beautiful morning.
Thank you.
Of course, we want to dissect, start, and we're kicking this away from the mayor who is right on my left here. Mayor, welcome to the show. But first, we want to get it from you. Why are you seeking? What do you think you need at a term of office?
Thank you, moderator. I'm seeking for another term of office because we are getting into a new complete experience. Entebbe is lucky that it's going to be elevated to state status, and over that elevation, the whole of Busiro South will be brought on board to Entebbe. So this new city will cover Busi Island, Kavenyanja, Zinga, Kasanje, Nakauka, Sisa, Kajansi, Chitende, up to Baita. So that whole entity is added on Entebbe. The difference this time around is that people of Entebbe are the ones to elect, but then whoever they will elect as mayor will take on the lordship, the mayorship of the new city of Entebbe. So it is a completely new experience.
Are you trying to tell us that you have an expansion of your territory, that you now need to cover the entire...
Yeah. The people, as I told you, election will be as is.
But Mayor, we want...
Come July 2001, the jurisdiction is going to be bigger because we've been elevated to state status. So I'm coming in with a wealth of experience as per my performance as mayor.
Do you think that in as far as how this expansion has been done and we're getting to a city now, is the initial Entebbe satisfied with what you've done in your term of office?
The initial Entebbe, I've tried my level best to improve upon a number of things. And with all sincerity, I think my term of office has been impactful to the people of Entebbe in terms of infrastructure, in terms of growth of revenue, in terms of planning, and also in terms of advocating and positioning Entebbe for state status. I have been at the forefront of all this.
I want to go to Kenny. Kenny, why do you think Mayor Kayanja Vincent, the incumbent, does not deserve another term of office and you want to unseat him?
I want you to understand, viewers, it's not just about Mayor Kayanja. It's about the entire leadership of Entebbe over the years. Entebbe is the pioneer urban city in Uganda. Entebbe has been around for over 100 years. I think Entebbe became a town in about 1857. That's about 100 years. But look at it. We haven't gone away from the shell of the colonialists. There's nothing much that has happened. The things we're looking at, most of them, majority of them, 75%, were colonial things. We have not even tried our best to keep them. We're only just degrading them. So at the end of the day, the entire Entebbe leadership, after it had been handed over from the colonialists, hasn't done much. So we need a fresh new leader that can look at things differently and take Entebbe to the next level.
You have had your time in the primaries. You are running as an independent now. Have you tested the truth, the bitter, the bitter, and then you have your intentions to unseat the man who has been there for a term running down, and you want to be the mayor.
I want to agree with Ken. My fight is not with any of these gentlemen seated here. My fight is purely about the common person. Infrastructure is good. It's amazing. It's good to put up roads. It's good to put up buildings. But the buildings and the things that you're putting there, are the people of Entebbe even able to use them? Can we, before we even discuss mega projects, can we first discuss household income, which seems to be the thing that everyone seems to ignore? If I don't have money at home, I mean, the person seated in Lugonjo, the person seated in Chigungu, can they utilize some of these things that are here? If you ask majority of the people in Entebbe, we have malls, we have hotels, how many of them are actually able to use them? Look at simple things. We have a hospital that has been turned into a coronavirus center. Now, being an isolation center, it has left the common person without a place to even go to hospital. These private hospitals that are here in Entebbe, the common person can't use them. My fight is not with Kayanja, my fight is not with Kauma, my fight is not with Simbwa. My fight is against the simple things that are happening that are affecting people's lives. People need better. It's as simple as that. I'm born here, raised here. I understand the Entebbe that we are talking about. He's talking about things not being different for all these years. The same guy who was a borderman when I was in primary 3 is still riding a border, which shows you that there has been a change probably in infrastructure, but not change in personal income. So the person is still stranded in the same position, but we're talking about development. We have a chance. There is an expansion. We have to rethink. He talks about preservation. Yes, let's preserve what we have. Let's rethink outside the box. But as we rethink that, can we consider the fact that the household income has to be pulled up? Because you can bring in all the businesses in this world into Entebbe. They will not be sustained because the spending power is very, very low.
Let me go to the former, can I say the former now because you're seeking an upper hand? You have been a chairperson at a division and he has been your upper hand. Why do you want to unseat him? What do you think he has not done that you want to address and now you're seeking an upper hand?
Of course, I've been the chairman of the division. Even I'm still the chairman of the division. And now I'm yearning to be the mayor of Entebbe because of so many things which is happening in Entebbe. When you look at Entebbe, Entebbe was the first capital city of Uganda. At the same time, the oldest municipality of Entebbe. But many things are not moving well because of leadership which we have. So I want to become the mayor of Entebbe in order to change such.
Of course, when you're saying you want to become the mayor, you are testing the comfortable seat upper beyond the level that you have been serving. Yes. But I was asking, what are some of those key and pertinent things you think Mayor Kayanja Vincent Depot has not done and you want to
Of course, there are so many things. For instance, if it was not the government of Uganda to construct the roads, to construct infrastructures like markets, parks, Mayor Kayanja wouldn't have shown anything. So if you ask him or his leadership that what has he done in local revenue, nothing he can show us. So when you want to determine a person of his leadership, determine on him depending on local revenue. Otherwise, if it was not the government to come in Entebbe, Entebbe would have been so behind. For instance, he has talked of Entebbe becoming a city. If I were the mayor of Entebbe, Entebbe would have been the first among the first groups. Because Entebbe was the first to request for being a city. Entebbe was the first to become a city of Uganda. Why is it that Entebbe is now becoming the second?
Let's hold it there. Let me switch to Kauma shortly. Kauma Muhammad, who has been the member of parliament in the past, and now you're seeking a lower level. Why did you have to have your, level come down?
Thank you so much. Thank you, INTV, for this profound opportunity to speak to the people in Entebbe and Uganda at large in a short while. I appreciate that, and you people that are managing the program. Honestly, one would wonder from a higher level of a member of parliament now to a lower level. I have been a member of parliament for 10 years. I have legislated, I have represented Entebbe, and I have fairly appropriated for the interest of Entebbe and Uganda as a whole. Now, getting to a lower level, appreciating the historical significance of this town, and me coming into this town in 1973, born here, studied here, worked here. I've been in leadership of Entebbe from a village level to a higher level up to parliament. I know Entebbe is at heart. Now, why coming to challenge my colleague who I promoted very much to get into that seat? I worked tirelessly to see him there, and then right now I am challenging him to see him out. I have come up with an agenda codenamed Entebbe Kauma a dozen 5-year program, which I think when I embark on this dozen program is going to address a number of issues that my colleague has not fixed. Entebbe, as a historical town, just like my colleagues have said, deserves better. Deserves better. Being a former capital city and then remaining more or less stunted and looking at other emerging cities in Mbale, Mbarara, superseding, not Entebbe even for now being thought to be the next capital city. We are actually phased next, not phased immediately. Okay, we are going to come in 2022. Why not immediately, being the former capital city? I want to state amongst my dozen agenda program as leadership as #1 agenda, because when you address the issue of leadership, then you are going to address all the other challenges.
Are you in any way trying to tell us that the leadership that has been in capacity has not done what it was supposed to do?
Well, I want to confirm this to you, because as a leader, you have to take a first step towards directing where you want Entebbe to be. I have led Entebbe, I have worked in Entebbe, and I have invested in Entebbe. Let me tell you, because I want to push Entebbe to the next level, I have personally invested Entebbe in different folds.
Let me hold you there for I come back to Kayanja Vincent Dipo. Why do you think you need another term to complete all you had promised the people of Entebbe?
As I told you earlier on, it's a completely new experience. And over this experience, it creates new opportunities for the people of Entebbe and its surroundings. And amongst the advantages that is coming our way, that will eventually address the challenge of unemployment, is the creation of an industrial area for the new city. And this is slated to be located in Kasanje. Related to that is also the plan to have the Buwaya Nachiwogo Bridge, which will open up Entebbe. But Entebbe as a peninsula...
If I can just cut you short, your colleagues are saying that you failed to fight for Entebbe, be among the priority municipalities that were granted the city status.
That is a naked lie. First of all, for government to capture Entebbe as one of the cities, there are people that played a critical role. First of all, the consent of the sitting mayor of Entebbe is critical. Secondly, mobilizing the leadership of the other entities that we are annexing was another exercise which we undertook. And then the onus of who comes first and who comes last was basically an agenda for the Parliament of Uganda and the Cabinet. You see, there was an element of regional balance, and other regions also yearned to have cities, because there was an argument that the Central Region has Kampala. Now let us also accord the Western Nile an opportunity. Let us accord Western an opportunity. Let us accord Eastern an opportunity. And that informed the positioning of when we would be elevated. But the position of government as of now is that all the 10 are going to be elevated come the next financial year.
Okay, well, Mayor, your colleagues have cited that I think there is incompetence, if I can just summarize all what they've said. They've said there is a lack of accountability. You have not taken time to realize the potential of tourism in Entebbe. Money gets through the airport and goes to Jinja, goes to Makshoni Falls. You don't retain any coin. What are some of the key dependencies now you're looking at, because you're going to be the mayor now in a city, not a municipality?
It's unfortunate that there isn't ample time to articulate all the issues. Most of the issues that have been hinted on are already strategically worked on by the municipal council. For example, we are already making a strategic plan on tourism, and we've established a tourism information center. Here in Uganda, there are only 3 cities, 3 towns that have a tourism information center: Kampala, Kasese, and Entebbe. So strategically, we are getting in there. And we know that the potential of Entebbe is tourism. We've created an association of people in the hospitality business and tourism, what they call Entebbe Tourism and Hospitality Association. So that one strategically will enhance the tourism sector. And we know all those potentials that have to be tapped in. And this has to be led by the private sector. Related to this, we have created the Chamber of Commerce. And via the Chamber of Commerce, we want to empower the business community of Entebbe to tap into the resources at the national level. In fact, recently in the Entebbe Summit, we interacted with the Secretary General of the Chamber of Commerce, and he told us that their facilities, government has committed a fund 7% for people investing in the tourism sector. So via the Chamber of Commerce, there will be a lot of networking on different issues. There was a hint on the UN Habitat program. That was a one-off, and it was mismanaged because money was distributed politically. Then for the Lavlak, that is also another story which I don't want to tell, because my predecessor had issues with Lavlak. The Swedish Danida cancelled the funding because some resources were mismanaged. And then in regard to issues of poverty, dear viewers, government set up anything to do with the poverty eradication programs come at the division. And every financial year, Division A is given 70 million for poverty eradication. In the course of the year, that is 280 million for poverty eradication. I wonder whether my college has evident groups that have been emancipated from poverty through that program.
Kenny, I am sure if you went through this election, you would be a mayor of a city now, not a municipality. What should the people of Entebbe expect from you? That's if you want to.
First of all, Ivan, at least we all agree that Entebbe is a tourism city. And right now, seated here, I am a tourism professional. I graduated Makerere University 2001 with a bachelor's degree in tourism with honors. And I've served on different tourism platforms. I was the speaker of the Association for Tourism. Now, when you talk about tourism, it's not just passion, but it's a profession I understand. I've listened to the mayor lamenting about very many things. Tourism is not just about strategy and writing papers and policies. Tourism is actually about being strategic. Now, I'll give you a few examples if time allows.
Are you say that you're going to transform paperwork into practice now?
Exactly. Yes, and I'll tell people of Entebbe, if we continue the bickering, if we continue the fighting, you're just saying it here. The mayor is saying the division chairman this. The division chairman is saying mayor this. This is the bickering that has gone. There's no work. These people just sit here and bicker day in, day out. I'll give an example before you let me off, because I noticed that the rest of them get more time than I think maybe because I'm the young one here. But please allow me just
started the bickering already.
Allow me just a few extra minutes, and I'll explain. Recently, there was an ongoing wrangle about the building. There's a new building there. The mayor is claiming it. The chairman is claiming it. So we spend so much time in fights, in wars, and we forget about working. If we can, as Entebbe, sit together, leadership, I would expect the mayor, he's the boss of this city, to be able to put his chairman in line. I would expect you, the mayor, to be able to speak to the member of parliament and give her or him issues that affect us as Entebbe people. You see, if we put away all that bickering party thing, we're going to have a great city.
No. Let me go to Fabrice. Fabrice, who is going to be the mayor if you are elected? That's if. Okay, when you go through this election, you're going to be the mayor of a city now, not a municipality. What are some of those things that people will have to see in you? Two of them, if you can mention.
I think the most important thing should be, I want a leadership that is people-centric. Our focus shouldn't be, Ken has mentioned this bickering. I try to have, when we were seated before the show, I told my colleagues while we were standing, I was like, if we worked together, if we could actually have discussions, win or lose, sit and talk. All these people seated here have ideas that they bring on the table. Win or lose, if we could have these ideas, continue to work for the development of our home and say, you know what, we all love Entebbe. That means we have a love for its people. Can we work together to improve it? But the two things that I would want to focus on, yes, tourism, amazing. But can we also understand that even if we went and built hotels, even if we went and built all these things that we are talking about, if we don't improve the spending power, which is the household income, we are going to have an issue. Because you see, look at it. Coronavirus came in, international tourism was blocked.
Yeah.
So now the companies that have survived, or the sites that have survived, have been surviving on local tourism. But local tourism can only happen if the locals have the money to spend. If we have people that have been looking for food, something to eat, as in basically to say, what will I feed my children today? If we can't even have that sorted, then we have a problem. So the first thing I would focus on would be household income. How much has Ivan taken back home? How much has Fabrice taken back home? What is in your pocket? Because you see, if you went around, I have a friend who actually makes a joke and said, if they told people, not just in your pocket, and say, you know what, this is the line. Whoever has 1 million shillings is the only one allowed to cross. Most of the people in Entebbe would not cross that line. Now, can we transform that? If we can transform that, then we get there. How do we get there? My second thing, which would be a priority, would be skilling and certifying the skills. We have a lot of young people who are very talented. We are getting into this whole phase of the oil and gas. How do we tap into it? We have a lot of welders in Entebbe, for example. We have painters, okay? We have nutritionists. We have all sorts of things. But do you know what they don't have? Even the ones who have the talent, one, they are not certified, so they are not employable. Can we get these people skilled, certified, and employable? If we created a database in Entebbe where you know, okay, how many graduates do we have? I would ask here, if they ask you today, can you provide for me the graduates who are in Entebbe? We probably don't know them. If we even get to a place where a person like Fabrice, born and raised here, someone says, oh, you see, I'm Entebbe. He's not from Entebbe, and I'm from here. Okay, that shows that the leadership doesn't even know, its people.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for really making your time to come to the show. I really want to comment that you have brilliant ideas. I want to say that if the people of Entebbe have been watching this show, you have all expressed matters of concern. And we also ask them to watch wisely when we go into these polls. We hope and pray that Entebbe remains peaceful even after elections, of course. But I want to thank you for making your time to come on the show. And really, it has been a pleasure hosting you, and especially for the views you have given. Well, it has been a panel of 5, of course, among the 7 that have contested or have a bid for the mayorship in Entebbe, giving us their views. It has partly been an interesting moment to listen to the brilliant ideas that each one of them was raising, of course, very important. But like I said, Entebbe, which is the first capital city of the country, and the tourism hub, of course, having the only state house and the airport, deserves a brilliant idea. When after, let me say, that election, it will no longer be a municipality, it will be a city. So I hope the people of Entebbe are watching this, and each of these people, of course, has expressed what they think want to do for you. So as time comes for you to go into the voting area, please look out for that one you think. Campaigns are going to be scientific, as we are told by the Electoral Commission, and we also hope that you follow and make sure that you protect yourself against COVID-19, which is real. And Morning at 10 TV now returns to the studio. A very good morning to you and our audience.